Hello and welcome to the Change the Narrative podcast. I am Kim Fuller,
Clinton Fuller.
and tonight we will be discussing gang violence, crime and violence in a whole, and how it affects individuals, families, and our communities. All of us have been touched by gang violence in some shape or form, some more than others. And tonight, Clinton is going to give a very personal account of how gang violence has touched his life.
I mean, it's just so we're gonna talk about gang violence. I personally touched my life, and I mean, a lot of us, especially the young Belize, we are or have experienced, or some of us have experienced some of these tragedies firsthand. I mean, this it's a genocide at this point. You know, has been
Yeah, I
going on now
mean,
from 1992
yeah,
till now.
that's a long time.
You know what I mean? And for some odd reason, we have not, just as a country or as a people, haven't come to grips with how to fix this particular situation. It's to the point where it's dragging down our economy.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely hurting us in regards to our tourism and so forth. I mean, in the sense that a lot of the areas within the city that can have tourists come by and boost the economy are restricted from that very point. Um,
What's
and it's
crazy is that it's just a small part of the city
yeah,
that this is happening,
I
but
mean
it affects the
the,
broader community
yeah, it
in a
affects.
whole.
I
You
mean, it
know.
affects worldwide. I mean, not
Yeah.
worldwide, nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
But from again, and this always happens when you let lingering problems just linger.
Right.
I mean, if we as a community, because this problem is no longer just a governmental problem, it's a community problem, it's a society problem. If we as a community stepped up earlier in the 90s when this first started,
We wouldn't
um,
be here today.
yeah, we will never be able to deal with this or go to what we're going to today. So,
Right. So, Clinton, why don't you just give our audience a little bit of the experience that you have had with regards to gun violence and how it has personally touched your life.
well, thank you. So, for me personally, this is very touching and telling for me. Man, I mean, again, like most people um, in my community, on my side of the tracks, my story is not unique, and it's prevalent, to be honest, now to a lot of people in my community. But my personal experience is one of the first ones that happened, and I'm willing to share it personally with my audience and how it affected me daily and what exactly is the process that actually happened. So,
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, in 1992, I was 11 years old. I had an older brother. His name is Michael Humes. Okay, he had just came back from Los Angeles at the time. Again, in LA, we stayed in the predominantly Belizean area, which is off in the 30s, like so 30th
South Central?
and North. This is the South Central. So we stayed off originally like 35th and Normandy. And for anyone in LA and people who've been in LA knows that particular area. It is a Belizean area, but that Belizean area is also known to the Harlem 30 Crips. You know what I mean? So again, my brother came up here in the early, like late 80s, early 90s, and he got exposed to it, man. He got exposed to the whole gang life, and all of a sudden, was trying to associate himself with the Rolling 30s. You know what I mean? I guess he was given trouble at the time, and he decided to bring him back to Belize. Upon arriving in Belize, I mean, of course, like most kids that age, once once you start and go down that road, man, it's kind of hard to stop. And he brought that same nonsense in Belize, still banging Crip. And again, Crips and Bloods was just starting to roll out in Belize like that. To be honest with you, Crips and Blood came out in Belize about 85, around 1985, I'll say. But it's starting to roll around the early 90s. All right. So when he got to Belize, I had a cousin that was also banging Crip in Belize. His name was William Chow Jones. He also passed away. Rest in peace. But my cousin William had affiliation with, I'm talking about some of the big Crip members in Belize. He was friends with Itza, who was back then was the Crip boss.
Okay.
You know what I mean, of Belize. And of course he also knew Junior Balls at the time, Sonny and Kilo Boy, and all these gang dudes from back in the day. I mean, it's sad to say this, but all these dudes that I'm mentioning, also they all passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to those guys. You know what I'm saying? So my brother was storming a road with these guys, and just got caught up with this nonsense, man. So in July 11th, he was out with this particular dude, this dude Killer from Quad Road. I think he passed away too. And yeah, man, they were out hanging out with this dude, and about 7:30, I remember like it was yesterday. It was like 7:30, between 7:30 and 7:45. Killer came and banged on our door. Told my mom that Michael just got shot, and my mom just was like frantic, like, where did he got shot? And he gave her the bad news, like, he think he got shot in his head. According to him at the time when the bullets was firing, they all ran and he got caught with one of those shells in the back of his head. So I remember getting that news, and again I remember my mom getting up and running out the house. She's so frantic, so just animated, just going crazy, and to the point, man, I think when she ran out the house, at the time we had like drain, like, I know the drains now in Belize are covered up, but we had drains that she slipped and one of her leg fell in the drain and all that stuff, man. And she ran to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Now at this time I was 11 years old. Man, and I remember.
Did you hear the news? Like, were you?
No, yeah, I was
aware?
there. I was there when Killer came and told my mom the situation. You know what I'm saying? And man, I remember as an 11-year-old kid, I got on my knees and I started praying. I was praying like, please, Lord, please God, please, just save his life out. Just save his life, please. So I sat there, man, worried, praying. Like this is like, man, it's just bringing me back to that time, man. And man, we got the news like around 11:30. Man, my mom came home and said he's gone. And I can remember, man, like just like what, he's gone. And I remember like just blanking out. I remember just blanking out.